Started out, I made an EP, an original EP, just with a friend in his home studio, with really pretty basic, but it was a real blast. So did an EP, then started a band called Lamplight, or formed this band with Kirsty Morfitt, another songwriter. Then we did an EP, then we did 2 albums, and then I went over for the first time ever to Europe and travelled all over Europe, but really connected with Berlin. On that same trip I went to Iceland and spent a month in a cabin on my own, just writing songs with no distractions, no internet, none of that stuff. So a real kind of songwriting retreat. And in that period, my songwriting really changed from trying to force music out or waiting for inspiration to really just sit there and allow music to arrive. Just let the creativity sort of come through and then document it. And then that brings it to this album, which has been in the works for a couple of years, really, to get the funding, to get the money together, have the songs, have really strong songs, to be able to hire a really great studio and an A-team of players to make a really strong record.
MIJO rang me up one day and said, "Danny, I've seen you play and I know your stuff, and you don't know me from a bar of soap, but I'm gonna do an amazing record. It's gonna be epic. I love epic, awesome sounds, and you'd be perfect."
He was #1 on my list, and I was really anxious to reach out to him. I was like, he's not gonna do it. But I called him and we had a really good chat and told him what the project was and what I was thinking of doing. And so I got him on board. We had a little rehearsal at his house and then asked him about bass players, and he highly recommended Tristan.
Yeah, it's been really fun discovering the music piece by piece and stuff like that, and good to get to know these guys too. I really enjoy playing with Danny, which is great. And then I think MIJO's known Danny for a while, and this project came up. He said, "Dude, you got to play on this record."
A big part of this record and what I've been just experiencing in myself over the last year has been a huge thing about self-actualization. So it's a big part of what this record is about, is me self-actualizing, reaching my greatest potential and realizing that in the world, giving that to the world as purely as I'm able to. And so a big part of the visualization was sitting there and asking myself, will I feel comfortable going into that zone of self-actualizing in front of these people? Will that space be conducive to that? So in choosing the studio, there were probably 3 or 4 that were ranking very high. And I actually spent a day or 2 going through the process of making that decision, because I knew it was going to be pretty integral. But the thing I ended up doing was going into my bedroom, sitting on my bed, closing my eyes, and visualizing actually being in that space with that person, with that engineer, and whether that level of trust was there.
It was great. I was quite excited. I had a little listen to his previous work, and he's a great songwriter and a fantastic band. So it was exciting when I heard it was, and then when I heard it was coming, and then I heard later on that Marty was coming to produce, which is just fantastic, because I guess my role is less of a musician, like you suggest, and more technical, but it makes that side of things a lot better, because you can really hone in and concentrate on those aspects, as opposed to trying to wear a couple of hats and getting overwhelmed with both.
known MIJO for a while now. We've been toured around Germany for a while, and so I'm just always kept in contact. So when he was looking for help with this album, just kind of sat down and went through some songs. So much music is so highly produced that it's actually quite rare for people to play as a whole band live in the studio these days. For me, it's so much more exciting to hear actual humans playing music. That's what I'm always kind of listening to, and I guess people that still listen to jazz and other forms of R&B still look for that. But yeah, for the modern indie kind of pop, it's just so cut and paste these days because it's just so easy on computers. That perfection's easy to reach, but it's kind of boring at the same time, just a little bit too sterile for mine and MIJO's tastes. I think everyone in the band and involved in this at the moment just prefers something a little bit more human, so it's nice to be able to do that.
The way I set it up is we record the band to tape and then transfer it into Pro Tools for easy editing. When we're sitting here listening while they're playing the take, and then when I transfer it over, it sounds different. It ends up being for a much smoother sounding record because like the snare hits aren't, suddenly there's a really loud one, which can be fixed or altered in the mix, but it makes the mixing process smoother. So it's a great way of doing it. And along with that, it makes for a great energy for the band because the tape starts rolling and they suddenly feel like it's real.
If I'm doing my part properly, I'm hoping that that will connect and it will allow other people to self-actualize. You know, that I feel like when I see an artist who is doing that and really in their element, in the moment, expressing that, I feel inspired to do it. And so if I can pass that on to other people, I feel like that'll be a really worthy contribution through my music and through this album project. So yeah, I would love for people to get inspired, process emotions. If they can relate to the songs, hopefully it helps people through their situation, but ultimately helps them get better as a human, learn something about themselves and go into that zone of trusting themselves and expressing themselves in the world. And my overall vision with that is if everyone is doing that, if everyone is tapping into their deeper purpose for being here and then living in alignment with that, then we'll be able to work out everything in between.